Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we are trying to discuss with break and continuous statements here. Basically, we identify the break statements how exactly, which is going to work in the previous example. And same way, the continuous statements also we identified here. And so, can you please explain me what is the class we created on the last class? Anyone having an idea? So, what is the class we created? No. CD to error type conversion rule, missing break. Okay, prime number 2. So sample switch. Okay, so we have a simple example on this particular break and continue example because so what is the name of the class we created? We did not remember that, and again we are going to create a simple example here. Now we can observe what we are doing here. I am going to create one class here. The name of the class so breaker. What exactly we are trying to work here? Right now, inside this particular main method, let me create one loop here because the simple example we need to understand regarding this particular so break statement and I want to make one condition here. So what is the condition I am trying to make here? Something called I equals to 2. Here I want to break here. I want to break here. And so otherwise what we can do, simply we can print this particular message, something called I. So what you are understanding here, whenever we are trying to use this particular break statement here internally, what happens internally? So this particular section which is going to print up to 0, 1. So why the second one is not printing here? Because what happens internally? So whenever the I value, the condition is going to satisfy here. The I value condition is going to satisfy here. So it's going to terminate from the end of the loop here. It's terminating the loop and it is coming out of the loop here. Cutting the punch. So because of basically this loop is going to repeat 3 times here. Based on this particular condition, it is repeated only 2 conditions here. Cutting the point. If I'm going to work with the same example with 5 years, so even if I'm trying to increase the particular loop here, even if we increase this particular loop here, what is happening internally? So still we are getting 2 times only. Cutting the point. So still this particular loop is repeating 2 times. And if I'm going to work with continue, so carefully observe the difference between break and continue. Basically, break is going to terminate and coming out of this particular entire loop here. But the continue, which is going to terminate the current iteration here. Cutting the point. So which is going to terminate the current iteration again, which is going to repeat from the next value. So understand here, if I'm going to run the same example, now you can observe. So you can see 0, 1. The 2, whenever this particular condition 2 is satisfied here, what happening internally? The 2 is excluding here because the 2 is not printing here. So the remaining elements are printing here. So 3 and 4 here. So this is very important here because in the real time we are going to work with more and more the break and continue statements here. Getting the point. So based on some condition, or if the condition is not satisfied here, what we can do? We can have a chance to iterate one more time here. Basically, simple example I want to provide here. So we are having employee object, or we can call some company object here. Getting the point. So inside this particular company, we are trying to load employer related information. So how we are going to load here? By calling get employer. We are going to call get employer. So this method we are going to call. So now what we are going to do? If this particular employer we are getting as a null, if we are getting this particular employer as a null, what we can do? So we can have a condition here. So we can make this particular condition like this here, and we can use simple continue. We can use simple continue here. So what happens here? Basically, so we are expecting in the company object one employer object here, right? So sometimes if we are getting null, what happens internally? So we are going to work with the continue. What happens internally? Again, one more second loop is going to repeat here. Second loop is going to repeat here. Getting the point. And the second loop was also we are getting null again, which is going to have the option to repeat the third loop. So this way we can work with real-time examples here. So this section, if we want to find out the condition to get a proper object here, we can go for the continue. And based on some condition, if we want to come out of the entire loop, we don't want to repeat the next iteration here. We don't want to repeat the next iteration here. What we can do? So we can go for the break statement here. So this is very important here, the difference between break and continue here. Right. So we identified in the previous example break and continue. And one more example I want to check here. So go to statements here. So go to statements also very important statement we are working here. Getting the point. So this particular go to statement is going to work whenever we are having so the nested loops here. Getting the point. Whenever we are having the particular nested loops here, if we want to break the outer loop here, what we can do? We want to break the outer loop here. So simple, now you can understand here. One more I want to write an example, something called go to loop. So now we'll try to check with how exactly this particular go to loop is going to work here. So go to is one of the concept which is introduced in Java. So to terminate the loops concept whenever we are having more than one loop here. So simple. So if I'm not using this particular go to, what will happen here? If I'm not using the go to, what is happening internally? Let me observe. I'm trying to define the loop here. So this particular loop, I'm going to work with int I is equals to 0, I less than 3, I less than 3, I plus plus. And one more loop I want to check here, something called j is equals to 0. So j less than 100 and j plus plus. So what we are doing here, getting the point. If I'm going to check with the condition j equals to 10, I want to break here. So if the condition is not satisfied, what I will do, I will print. If the condition is not satisfied here, what I'm going to do, I will print j value. So because the I value will become same here, because I value is not going to increase here. So basically what we are doing here, we are trying to work with the condition here. So j equals to 10. But the loop, how many times is going to repeat here? This particular loop is going to repeat 100 times here. The condition I'm trying to make has a comment here. So this particular loop is going to repeat 100 times here. But I don't want to repeat this condition 100 times here. I want to stop based on some certain condition here. So what is the condition we are making here? Something called if the j value will become 10. So this condition is going to stop here. The condition is going to satisfy and the loop is going to terminate here. But now the simple understanding here something called okay. So this loop is repeating 3 times here. The loop is repeating 3 times here. because the I value we are having 3 times here. Because the I value we are having 3. The outer loop which is going to repeat 3 times here. So I don't want to repeat 3 times, and the j value also we don't want to repeat multiple times here. So if this condition will satisfied here, right? If this condition will satisfied here, I want to come out of the loops here. I want to come out of the both the loops here, I and j here. Getting the point? So I want to come out of the both the loops here. So how we can do? Because if I'm trying to make here break here, which loop is terminating here? The inner loop is terminating here. Getting the point? Same way, if I'm going to check here, if I equals to 2, if I'm going to break here, so what will happen here? So now we can see the j loop is going to repeat 100 times here. The j loop is repeating 100 times here. Now we can observe, once the j loop is repeating 100 times here, so now we can see the loop is repeated 2 times here. The j loop is repeated 2 times, and once the I value will become 2, it's coming out of the loop. Getting the point? So if I'm trying to write, outer loop condition here, but internally the loop is repeating 100 times. So I don't want to repeat 100 times here, and I don't want to check the I loop also 2 times here. So to do, what we can do here? Getting the point? At a time we want to terminate both the loops here. The simple answer here, so we are having one go-to statement, something called outer. So what is the loop we want to terminate here? So besides this particular loop, we need to specify the condition like this here. And here I want to make here, whenever the condition will satisfy, we want to provide the name of this particular loop here. So this particular condition we are going to have go-to, we are going to call here. So go-to statements here. So what we are doing here, if this particular j value will become 10, what we are doing here, we are trying to break outer loop here. Now, so whenever this particular outer loop is break here, we don't have an option to come into this particular inner loop here. Getting the point? So if I'm not using this particular outer, what is happening internally? So what is happening internally? Right. So basically, if I'm going to make here j is equal to 10, the inner loop is terminating here, and outer loop is repeating 3 times. And if I'm trying to make outer loop condition, so inner loop is repeating 100 times here. Getting the point? So now we can observe the same example we are going to run. Now we can see, so 0 to 9. Only 0 to 9 is repeated here. But after this, we did not see the I value is not repeated, and the j value also, it's not repeated 100 times here. So this is the way we can work with whenever we want to make outer condition. Whenever the inner condition is satisfied, we want to terminate the outer loop here. So this is very important here. Getting the point? Because if I'm not writing the particular go-to statement here, so we identify the 2 drawbacks here. So this section very important here. Any questions regarding this particular go-to statement here? Okay. Now, so we'll have one more example here. So I want to provide one more example. So observe here how exactly this section is going to work here. The section I want to work with I is equals to 0 and I less than 3 into j is equals to 0 and j less than something called 100 here. And so j plus plus. Sorry. Here I want to write here. So now you can observe here. Here I want to print I value. Here I'm trying to print I value. So J value I am printing here. But here, what we are doing here? Now I am making the go-to statement here. Getting the point. Now I'm making the go-to statements here. But if you understand here, I'm checking with one condition here. So what is the condition I'm checking here? So J is equals to 10. J equals to 10. I want to break 1. I want to break 1 here. So why I'm getting here, this error here? So can you please explain me why I'm getting this error? Anyone having an idea? No idea? Can we see like what is the error message we are getting? So now you can observe, if I'm going to move this particular cursor, the label 1 is missing. So the label 1 is missing. What you are understanding here, if the label is missing, so can you please explain me if I'm going to get this error, so what we are missing here by seeing this simple example here. Here we provided the label 1 here, and we provided the outer the go to statement also. We are trying to use the break here, but we are getting an error. The same thing we added, like applied into the previous example outer, and based on this particular condition, so the condition we worked on the simply the go to statements is worked successfully, and we got an output here. So 0 to 9, the values are executed and will come out of the particular. So both the statements here, both the for loop statements here. Right. But if I'm trying to work with another example here, we are getting an error here. But you are not understanding here. Observe here, the loop is opened here, the loop is closed here. So this loop is having this particular for loop is open and closed. And after this, I opened one more loop here and closed here. So there is no relation between these two loops here. Getting the point? So there is no relation between these two loops here. Even if you provide this particular statements here, so how exactly the statements are going to work here? Whenever we are going to use inside the one loop another, getting the point? Whenever we are trying to work with the loop inside the another one, so then only this particular go to statement is going to work. But this particular loop is this particular block of code is, and later we are providing another loop here. Because of this, which is not working here. So if I'm going to work here, so to understand this simple example, or if we want to remove this particular error, what we can do? So we want to cut this particular for loop, and we want to provide inside this particular for loop here. Now you can observe any error we are getting here. We are not getting any error here. So this is very important here. Basically, the loop is going to for where we are using this particular label here. So the label should be within the particular outer loop here. Wherever we are defining the particular label, so within the particular label only we need to use here. If we are trying to use outside of this particular label loop, we are going to get an error here, because we are defining here, we are accessing some other location. Getting the point? Because we are in out of the scope here. Getting the point? We are in out of the scope here. Now you can see, so successfully we defined here, but the scope is open and the particular scope is closed here. So again, we opened the one more scope and opening, and one more we closed here. So there is no relation between the release this particular loop and this particular loop here. So if we want to get the relation, what we need to do? So within the particular scope, wherever we are trying to define the particular label, so we need to use. So this section is very important here. So you may get some logical questions based on this particular go-to statements here. Anyone having any questions here? No? Okay, now observe. So I want to comment this section, and I want to enable this section. So again, Here, instead of working this particular break, now what I want to do, I want to work with the continue. I want to work with the continue. So what is the output you are expecting here? So can you please explain me what is the output we are expecting here? For break, we identified here, which is trying to execute only 0 to 9 times here. Right. What about this particular continue? Because now we are working on the continue right now. So again, we have defined this particular label on top of the outer loop. So we are working on the particular label based on the some condition here. Based on this particular condition here. Okay. Observe here the simple example we want to understand here. So now you can see we are getting this time multiple values here. Observe here, this time we are getting multiple values here. So now we need to check how many times this particular loop is repeated here. So first it started with 0, it's closer with 9. It's closer with 9. So later we can check with 0 and again it's closer with 9. So this is the second iteration. And now we can check here, so third one. Now what you are understanding here, whenever we are trying to work with break statement, so it is terminating both the loops here. Right. But whenever we are trying to work with the continue, what is happening here? So whenever we are making this particular statement with the continue, so again, all the iterations are going to like terminated whenever this particular j valuable condition satisfied here. So the remaining, the 90 iterations are going to terminated. What it will do? Again, it will go back to this particular outer loop. So why it is going outer loop here? Because we are working on the particular label called outer here. We are working on the particular label called outer here. Right. So this particular loop is terminated. The 90 iterations are terminated here. So now this is going to start. I value initially 0, the j value 0 up to 10 times is repeated. So it will go back to the outer loop and the I value will become 1 because we are working on the continue. So what it will do? It's going to terminate the current iteration only, not the all the iterations. Only the current iteration is going to terminate it here. So now we are in the current iteration because we are working on the outer here. So we need to check with the current iteration of this I value. Right. The I0 is going to terminate it. Again, it's going to start with the I value 1. And when this condition is satisfied, the I value 1 also is going to terminate it. Again, it's going to check with the 2. So the condition is going to satisfy the second I value also, which is going to terminate it here. So this is the difference between the break and continue here. So we identified we are getting the 3 times values when we are using the continue. When we are using the particular break, only one time we are getting here. Only one time we are getting here. Okay. So in the previous example, we identified the values increase time here. So now you can see basically what we are doing. Initially we are having the one value. So later we are having the another value. So this kind of example we identified here. Getting the point. So based on the iteration, the column value is increasing here. The column value is increasing here. The same example we are going to work here. So carefully observe with a different manner we are going to work here. Now, so we need to understand how exactly which is going to work here. Using this particular continuous statement here, how we can work here. Continue label. I want to work with this same example using the continue label here. Getting the point. So now Observe here, for loop I am trying to create I is equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. And so j I am trying to take, j is equals to 0 I am taking here. So now I want to check with j less than 10. I want to check with j less than 10, j plus plus. So observe here, both the loops we are going to work with 10 times here, but the condition we want to check here. The condition I want to check here. Getting the point? So simple understand here. So if I'm going to work with j greater than I, so understand carefully j greater than I. Right. I'm not printing anything here. So simply I want to make next line here. So here I'm trying to write one label here. The same label I'm going to take here. Here I want to provide outer. Getting the point? If this particular condition is not satisfying here, what I'm going to do? Simply I want to provide value here. I want to provide value something called I into j. I into j I want to provide here. Observe carefully how exactly this example is going to work. So using this particular label we are going to work here. Using this particular label we are trying to work on the simple examples here. Now we can see, so we are expected the output here but we are not getting here. So what we need to do to understand here, I want to work with the print method. We'll observe this time how it is working here. So now you can understand here how these values are getting here. How these values are getting here. This is also very important example we are working. So previously we provided j is equals to I and j less than or equals to some condition we used here. Right. But here we are not using any the specific conditions here. So the normal basic condition we are using here, I value is going to repeat 10 and for one each iteration, cutting the point, for one each iteration the j which is going to repeat 10 times here. So if it is j is repeating 10 times here, we are not getting the 10 time column values here. The 10 time column values we are getting here. Only one value we are getting here. So okay, now you can understand here. So we'll try to check with the same example using the debug mode here. Observe here, I value will become 0. Same way, we are already aware of it, this particular j value also will become 0. So this condition is going to satisfy or not? So this particular condition will not satisfy. Now we can see the value will become 0. So now we can see what we are doing here. The j value is going to increase here. The j value is increasing here. Whenever the j value is increasing, the condition is going to satisfy. We are printing the next line and we are moving into the outer ear. We are moving into outer ear. So observe carefully. Again we are moving into the I loop here. So we'll try to check here. I value will become 1. So j value is 0. Again the condition not satisfied. So printing the value. Now j value will become 1. So again the condition will not satisfy. Again the condition is not satisfying. So yet this time this condition will satisfy. At this time will condition satisfy, moving outward. Same way I value 2. So this time this loop is going to repeat 3 times here. So once 3 times is repetition completed here, is moving on to outer ear. So this time 4 times. So now you can observe once the 4 times is completed, So it's going to check with the outer loop here. So this section is very important here. So using the continue, how we are going to work. But if I'm going to use the break here, what happens here? So what are the values we are going to get? So we'll observe what are the values we are getting here. Something called 0. Now you can see on the console section we are getting 0. So this is the difference between break and continue, right? And one more example we want to check here. So using the same logic we already implemented in the previous example, something called prime related logic here. Getting the point? So how we can work on the particular prime related logic here? So using continue prime, we want to check with continue prime here. Now we can observe. Now you can understand here. I want to check with one more loop here, and into I is equals to 0 and I less than 10, I plus plus. Right. So here I want to print here. Only I want to print here. And so I value. And later, after printing this particular I value, I'm trying to check with the condition here. So what is the condition I'm checking here? I modulo of 2 equals to 0. So here I want to use continue. Here I want to use continue. If the module not 0, what I'm doing here? I want to print ln. I want to work with println here. So see the example here, how it is printing internally. So I'm going to run the same example using debug mode. So I'm going to provide the multiple ways of this particular continue statements here, because so continue is very important compared to the break. Break is not doing anything, and directly it is coming out of the loop. So now you can observe what I'm doing here. So I value 0, we are printing I value will become 0. Now what we are doing here? So the module operator which is returning 0, now where it is going? So I loop is going because the condition is satisfied. Now we can observe again I value we are printing. Again we are printing the I value. So now we can explain the, so what is the value we are going to get here? So we need to check here the module operator which is returning 1. So the if condition is not going to satisfy here. Whenever this condition is not satisfying here, so what we are doing here? We are moving into next line here. So whatever the value we are printing here, we are trying to moving into next line here. So now we can see. So again, one more here. I value we are printing here, and this condition is satisfied. So now we are checking here two value. So we are moving into the next line. We are checking the condition. I value is printing. So this condition will satisfy. Now we are checking the I value will become fine. So which is not satisfying here. Coming back to the next line here. So see, working with the continue statement, how we are trying to print the values here. So you can see the output here. So how it is printing here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the way we can work with the continue statements here. Getting the point. So these are the very important continue statements we are working here. So any questions regarding this particular continue statements here? So anyone having still questions regarding this particular continue keyword?
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll move on to the return statement here. So observe the simple example on the return statement here. So if you understand this simple example here, using this particular return, we are going to have more example here. In our upcoming classes, we are going to work with more examples here. So I want to work with return only. Okay. And later, what I am doing here, I want to check with the one boolean value, something called t. So by default, the value I'm making as a true. Right. So system.out.println, what I'm doing here, I'm trying to print this particular message here. So what is the message I'm trying to print? So before return. Okay. So before return, we are printing here. And later, I'm trying to check with the condition. If t, what we are doing here, in the if conditional block, I'm trying to use the boolean data type called t variable here. Right. So if the condition will satisfy, I want to return. If the condition will satisfy, I want to return. But now, what I'm going to do, after this particular if condition, we want to check here. We want to check. After if condition here. So carefully observe, if I'm going to run the same example, so now you can see on the right side section, how many statements we are getting in? Only one statement we are getting here. So why the second statement we are not getting here? Because of what is happening internally? Based on this particular condition, so which is trying to return here. So it's not going to execute the below statements here. So to understand here, the same example, I'm going to run debug mode here. So we need to understand here how which is trying to return here. So we are already aware of it, the data type that is called boolean. So statement is printing. So we can check what is the t value we are having. So that is called true. So now we can understand here from the line number 7, where it is going here. If I'm going to click F6 here, so F6 indicating here to move on to the next line here. Whatever this particular F5, what exactly it is doing here? If you want to enter into the method, getting the point. If you want to enter into the method, we can click on the F5 here. Okay. Now we don't have any method here. Directly we can click on the F6 here. So observe what happened here. Whenever this particular line is returning here, now you can see the application is completed here. The application is completed here. So this is the behavior of this particular return here. If you are not returning anything value, what happening internally? The application is going to terminate here. But so this particular same return we are going to use in our upcoming classes at method level. So we'll observe how exactly the particular return statement is going to work here. So we are going to have some difference between this particular return and the method level return here. Whenever we are trying to provide the method level return, so we are trying to return the value, right? But here we are not returning anything. If you are not returning anything, the application is going to terminate here. So the application is going to terminate here. So this is all about the simple example on the return statements here. So we identify the jump statements here, something called break, continue, and return here. Right. Now, so we want to move because from the basic class onwards, we are trying to work with classes information here. Getting the points. So we are trying to work with classes information. So I want to check here what exactly the classes contains here. But as of now, we discussed more than one class here. But now we did not understand what exactly the class is going to have. So whenever we are trying to work with this particular class, so what are the steps, like what exactly internal the behavior is happening here? So we need to understand here. Basically, the class is a core of this particular Java. So without this class, we are not going to define anything here. Getting the point? So that's the reason if you observe any example, we are trying to work with the class. So without the class, we are not going to define anything. And so you can imagine how much is important this particular class here, right? And whenever we are trying to define this particular class here, what is happening internally? So which is going to provide the logical construct of the particular logical related information which is going to provide here. Again, we are going to work with one custom data type here. Whenever we are trying to define the class here, so now you can imagine one more custom data type we are going to define here. So we already identified the primitive data types here. Same way, we are going to create a one custom data type here using this particular class type here. Right, and basically this particular class will have constructor and method as well as some of the variables we are going to define here. So some of the variables we are going to define here. So now we'll observe how exactly the variables and constructors methods we are going to work here. Getting the point. So once we created this particular class here, so today onwards we are going to check with creating an object here. Getting the point. So how we are going to create this particular object here, and we are going to have the simple examples here. And we identify the syntaxes of this particular class here. So how we are going to create here? So this particular class we are going to work with name of this particular keyword called class, and the particular name we are going to create. After creating this particular class, we are going to provide the variable information. Getting the point. So after providing this particular variable information, we can work with method related information. So how exactly the methods are going to create, and how exactly the methods are going to call internally. So this section we are going to check here, right? The syntax also we need to understand here. So to create a method and instance variables here. The simple example I want to create here. So from today onwards, we are going to work with a different package. Today onwards, we are going to work with a different package here. Now you can observe, I want to create a one class called box here. I want to create a one class called box. The package I want to create here something called and Java. Now you can observe, this is already we are aware of it. So whenever we are defining this particular keyword, what is happens internally? We are going to work with a custom data type here. So what is a custom data type here? We are having the data type called box. And same way, so name of the particular class, how we are going to identify here? After the class keyword, whatever the information we are going to define, so that is we are going to treat it as a name of the class here. So what is the name of the class we are creating here? Something called box here. Now you can observe, so these are the variables we are working here. Getting the point. So these are the variables we are working here. So these variables we are going to call as a instance variables here, because these variables we are creating at class level, not any method level, because previously so we worked with the main method here, but now so today onwards we are going to work with most of the variables class level here. Getting the point. So whenever we are trying to work with this particular class level, so what happens internally, so that we need to understand here. So how we are defining this particular variables here? So the variables we are going to have the data type, and along with the data type here, we are going to specify the name of the variable. Here. So after this particular variable here, what we are going to do? After this particular variable here, now simply we'll create an object here. So to create an object here, what we need to do? First we need to specify what kind of the object we are creating here. So it's nothing but the type we need to specify here. The type we are having here, box type here. Getting the point. So we need to specify the type, and we need to provide the reference variable here. So what it contains this particular reference variable here. So after creating this particular object here, right? After creating this particular object here, what we are going to do? We are going to access this particular object information using this particular variable called this particular box here. Right. So now this section is very important here. So first one is a type here. What type of object we are creating here? And the second one, what is a reference variable we are creating here? And now we can work with this particular keyword called new. So what it will do, this particular new keyword here? So which is used to create a object of this particular class. So which class object we are creating here? Getting the point. Which class object we are creating here? Something called box, because we are having the type here only the box here. And after new, we are having this particular box. We are having the box constructor we are going to call. So inside this particular constructor, we are going to have this constructor as a default constructor here. This constructor we are going to call as a default constructor. And how we are trying to define the default constructors here? So based on the particular class name, getting the point. So based on this particular class name, we are going to define the constructor here. The class name and constructor name should be same here. The class name and constructor name should be same. So we'll have more information on this particular constructor in our upcoming classes here. But now understand here. So what we are doing here? So this section, this particular line number 8, we are trying to create an object of this particular box class here. Right. And previously, so what we did here, directly we are going to provide we are trying to initialize the value. So something called into j is equals to 10. Into j is equals to 10. So this section we used inside this particular method level. But now we are trying to work with the class level. Now we are trying to work with the class level here. So how exactly we can work here? To work with the class level variable, now what we need to do? So we need to work on the reference variable here. So based on this particular reference variable only, we can change the, we can initialize the value. So this is the way we can initialize the value. Now you can understand here what is happening here. So whenever we are trying to create an object of this particular box here, what happens internally? So this particular box is going to create an object into the heap memory. Getting the point? So this particular object is going to create into the heap memory something like. So the above one, outer one is a heap memory. The inner one, which is we are trying to work with the box object here. Box object here. Inside this particular box object, we are going to have variable called width, height, and depth variable. So these three variables here, how we are going to access here? So the variable we are going to access using this particular box here. Getting the point? So this box, what is doing here? So whatever the object we created internally inside this particular heap memory. So to access those information here, what we need? We need a reference here. So what is the reference we are creating here? Something called box here. Getting the point? Now, something called box here. Right. So now, whenever we are having this particular reference here, we are going to call this particular three variables here. Right. Using this particular three variables here, what we are going to do? We can change the value, or we can update the value. We can access the value. Now, observe here. So to understand these two sections here, what I am going to do. So for this example, we'll try to work with inside the same class. I'm going to work with the main method, and now I'm calling this particular main here. The box class object I'm creating here, and later I'm trying to initializing the value. So now you can observe we are able to access the three variables here. The three variables we are able to access here. So is equals to the height I'm trying to give 30. Box dot depth is equals to 35. The box dot depth is equals to 35. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to So width, height, and depth here. Cutting the point. So this is the way we can initializing value. To access those values, what we can do? Again, we can call this is out here box dot width here. Box dot width. And so the second one, so box dot height here. And the final one, depth here. So these are the sections we are going to work here. Whenever we are having class level variables here. So now you can see the section we are able to find the information here. Cutting the point. So now this is the way we can initializing the class level variables called instance variable, and after initializing we can access using this particular box, the reference of this particular box class here. So this is the way we are going to work with the object creation, and after creating an object we are going to change the value. Getting the point. So day to day we are going to work with this particular box class, and we are going to have more information to discuss. So we'll try to continue the same session in tomorrow, because we need to create the methods and we need to discuss the constructors. So what is the purpose of this constructors are going to use, and what exactly the methods are going to use here. And so we'll have more information regarding this particular box class in tomorrow. So anyone having any questions regarding our today class? Okay, so if not, we'll try to continue tomorrow with the remaining concept here, constructors and methods we are going to discuss. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow at same time.